All right, sons of biscuits. We got the top 10 most difficult sports. You know, we're gonna watch it and see, like, if I agree. I guess if they're more difficult, or if I can actually do them, because you know, I can do anything. That's how I am, and that's how it's gonna be, because I'm the one. Anyway, let's see. I can do them.
Have you got the skills required to play?
Yes.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most difficult sports.
Come on, let's see them.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day,
Yeah, do
so
it
be
for
sure
me,
to subscribe to our
'cause every
channel
day I'm
and
gonna
ring the
post.
bell to get notified
Every
about our
day.
latest videos.
Ugh,
For
that
this
face.
list, we're looking at some of the most challenging popular sports as ranked by ESPN and its panelists.
Okay.
These are based on a balanced evaluation of the endurance, strength, power, speed, agility, flexibility, nerve, durability, hand-eye coordination, and analytical aptitude required to excel in the sport.
I can do all that. It doesn't even matter.
Number
Me.
10, football,
Exactly.
also known as soccer.
I played soccer.
Requiring little equipment and with basics that are easy to learn, football has unsurprisingly become the most played sport in the world. That being said, while it might be easy to get involved,
As you see,
mastering
I
the
know.
nuances and techniques of this game is anything but. Otherwise known as soccer, it's all about speed and control. It actually requires a higher level of agility than any other sport we'll be discussing today. Considering the size of the field and long periods of often continuous play, it also demands extreme endurance.
Extreme.
Add to that the
90
analytical
minutes of
aptitude
playing.
necessary to coordinate with
Insane.
your teammates and navigate your opponents, and you've got a game that is both physical and cerebral. Number 9, baseball, softball.
I've never played
involve
baseball,
a lot of standing around,
but I think I
don't
could
let
be
that
good
fool
at
you.
baseball.
Baseball and softball are both seriously tough. While the endurance required is
don't know if
marginal
I'm
compared to
pro.
other sports, the level of hand-eye coordination they demand is off the charts. And apart from those two outliers,
I don't know how fast I
baseball
can throw a
and
ball,
its
though.
variant
I have to work
softball
out my
requires a
my
mid to
arms.
high level of performance in pretty much every other one of the categories
'Cause
discussed.
I don't know if I can throw that.
Analytical aptitude and raw power are both essential, as the sport is rooted in careful planning, split-second decisions, and short but powerful
Jeez.
bursts of energy. So, yeah,
I could
there
do
is a
baseball.
fair amount of downtime.
I
but
really
players
believe I
never
can do
stop
baseball.
thinking. And when they're active, these athletes are giving it their all. Number 8, gymnastics.
Okay, so this
We've got one word for you: flexibility.
This seems
As
like
baseball is to
it
analytical
takes some
aptitude,
practice.
gymnastics is to flexibility, and then some. Considering the fact that flexibility seemingly becomes an issue by default as we age, you can only imagine the sort of rigorous training that professional gymnasts go through to maintain the awe-inspiring range of movement essential to their sport. Of course, while professional gymnastics would be literally impossible without a high level of flexibility, that's far from being the only factor. Just look at the sort of positions these athletes put themselves into.
I don't know if I
Requires
could do.
power to achieve,
I'm gonna say
strength to
gymnastics.
maintain,
I probably
and
can't
nerves
do
of
that good
steel
at.
to
Like I could
even
get good at it,
attempt. Number 7, tennis.
but like there's some like the people that are good like because they've been doing it since they're like 6 years old. Like there's nothing I can do. But tennis,
Like baseball,
I
this
can do
racket
tennis.
sport requires wicked hand-eye coordination.
I good
Being
hand.
served, tennis balls
So
are
see that?
regularly
So
traveling
swing-
at well over 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
The WTA recognized world record
I could do
is
tennis.
157.8 miles per hour for men and 131 miles per hour for women.
Man, that's fast.
Now, imagine the sort of hand-eye coordination and reflexes required to not only hit a tennis ball traveling at those speeds, but also accurately redirect it. Then there's the power necessary to hit them at that speed to begin with. If
Easy.
you've ever played tennis before, you'll know that endurance is also a major factor.
I sound
It
crazy
takes
saying it's
excellent
easy.
cardio to be able to keep moving around the court like that. Agility, too. Number 6, martial arts.
Oh,
This one should come as a surprise to no one.
Yeah,
To be
for real.
involved in martial
I
arts
could
at
do
a
martial arts,
professional
though.
level involves extreme levels of dedication,
I believe.
physical fortitude, self-awareness, and control. Regardless of which form of martial arts you're talking about specifically, you're going to need power, speed, agility, and durability to make it through a bout.
Definitely
Of course,
durability.
the analytical aptitude also needs to be there, since you're going toe-to-toe with an opponent both physically and mentally, meaning that you've got to
Like
be
that
able to
kid.
analyze
Aw.
and adapt your approach as you go. Number 5, wrestling.
Wrestling. I did
On
wrestling
the
in high
subject
school.
of combat sports,
I did wrestling. I did. Me. By myself. Alone. I did. So I can do wrestling.
how about this long practiced form of grappling? It's an interesting one because, like martial arts, It requires a fair amount of power and
Come on
flexibility,
now.
but it differs from the former in that it demands significantly more strength. Unlike in most
Choked out.
sports,
That's
when
not wrestling.
your muscles are exerting force for long periods of time rather than in short, powerful bursts. The specifics vary depending on the type of wrestling you're doing, but in all forms of competition, a wrestler is grappling for superiority over their opponent or to push them out of the ring, both of which require tremendous strength to accomplish. Number 4, basketball. There are few professional sports that demand a more
I was never that
varied
good at
performance from their
basketball.
athletes than basketball. This relatively young sport invented
I even played it once, and I was just never that good. So it is what it is. I guess I can't be a professional NBA player. Not that I wanted to be.
in 1891, is second only to football in terms of agility.
I could
But in
beat this
almost
guy right
every
here.
other
Watch him
regard,
miss.
it is more taxing on the players.
Oh, they didn't show, but
The
I bet he
style of
missed.
play requires a high level of endurance and analytical aptitude, while the physicality of the sport demands strength, power,
He probably missed
and
too.
speed.
Freeze frame.
Where
but
it really stands
he
out,
sucks.
however, even within the context of other ball-based sports, is the hand-eye
Miss.
coordination involved. The target is incredibly small,
Dang it, he got
considering
it.
the distance
When he
from
missed the
which
dunk.
the athletes are often shooting. Number 3, American football. Evolving
I could
out
do
of
football,
traditional
too.
football, meaning
I played football, honestly. I really did. I could do it. I don't know about professionally. I'm not big enough that I have to gain a lot of muscle, but I could do it.
soccer and rugby. This distinctly American game takes a serious toll on its athletes. Protective equipment and all, the extreme
Oh, yeah.
physicality of the game is devastating, and injuries are very common, meaning that it requires a high level of durability. The game is truly explosive in nature. While it may have a lot of stopping and starting, from the moment
Crap
that the
load of
quarterback
starting and
gets the ball,
stopping. It's kind of annoying.
every player on the field, defense and offense alike, is giving 100% to the task they've been assigned. As such, the sport demands both strength and power of a level rarely seen in other
True.
sports. Number 2,
Oh,
ice
I
hockey.
just speaking of hockey, I just saw a clip on the internet. This guy got a little goal and then he got like knocked out. He did a flip, hit the ground. It was like the craziest hit ever. Way worse than football hits, I swear. I don't know if I could do hockey because that's a lot. You have to be able to know how to skate backwards, forwards, control the puck, and all that. It's really difficult. And you can fight people at the same time. It's a lot. It's a
Requiring
lot.
only marginally less durability than football, but still a whole lot of it, hockey is arguably the most technically complex team sport that an athlete can play professionally.
Jeez.
The speed and style of gameplay require an incredible level of analytical aptitude, and the often
Analytical.
lengthy periods of uninterrupted play demand an exceptional level of coordination between players.
Yeah.
Of course, because of the physical nature of the game, strength, power, endurance, agility, and speed are all prerequisites.
Why does it have to be on ice? I
Really?
just don't get
There
it.
are few aspects of athleticism in which hockey players
Because skates exist. You can do it on concrete. It's not that different. I mean, yeah, it's not that different.
can afford to not excel.
Boxing.
Number 1,
Yeah.
boxing. This long popular combat sport requires an off-the-charts level of performance in more ways than one. The length of each round requires a high level of endurance, while the nature of the competition demands
And yes, I could do boxing. This looks fun. I always want to do boxing. Can you do boxing? Let me know in the comments below.
peak power and strength. Speed and agility might not be quite as crucial as in some of the other sports discussed today, but depending on a boxer's fighting style, they are
Super
still
fast.
major factors. Boxing requires comparable
Saw that?
durability to American football, but admittedly more nerve and significantly greater hand-eye coordination. In many ways,
Oh.
a boxer is an athlete operating at peak competitive physical performance.
Most annoying acting of punches ever. But anyway, that was the video. I can do every sport except for like 2. How many sports do you think you could do? Let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get this. I'll be back tomorrow for more videos.